Ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another edition of Parking Lot Preview. I'm Matt Coates. Next to me, my co-host for the day, Mikey Lucario, Director of Baseball Operations here with the Hyannis Harbor. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Matt. I'm excited making my return to PLP.
I know, we had him on last year. He was here this last year, and now he's back. Hopefully he can give us some good mojo because, Mikey, the team's reeling a little bit. 2 straight losses, had the off day yesterday. We're now 5-3-1, going to Chatham to play the Anglers on Veterans Field today. And it's a little bit ironic. Last time the Anglers were here, they visited us the 4th game of the season. There's number 1 in the West versus number 1 in the East. Today, number 3 in the West versus number 3 in the East. It kind of goes to show, Mikey, how things can change so quickly in baseball. It's still so early in the year. We never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. We got off to a super hot start, obviously. And now 1-3-1 in our last 5 games. But like you said, that's just baseball. The things we had dropping for us early in the season haven't really been falling. The last few games, the offense has been slow, but I don't even think it's been a bad slow. Guys like Anthony Silva have put up some really good at bats and squared up balls really, really well. But it's like right at defenders or just not quite enough. Right at the warning track, could have been over. But yeah, I'm hoping off day yesterday. We're getting a bounce back day, and hoping it's a little bit of a bounce back for Chatham too, so we can get some good competition today.
For sure. We're talking about it, reeling a little bit. So we had the off day yesterday. Monday, we last played, and we were here hosting the Bourne Braves for the second time this season. Lost that game 6-2. Ryan Dromboski got the start on the mound, and he was solid. 3.2 thirds inning pitched, only 1 earned run allowed. Last time we were on, me and Mike Maynard talked about Dromboski. Very similar line to his first start, where he did very well, but he let some guys on base. What do you see in his pitching style, where he's able to give up a few hits, give up a few walks, but still get through innings clean?
Yeah, Dromboski's the type of guy where he can get runners on, and he's really good at limiting damage with his pitch arsenal because, his slider is probably his best pitch, and it's a really good ground ball pitch. So, like you walk a guy, you give off a leadoff single, it's okay because you've got that sinker slider profile to get another ground ball. Hopefully, let your defense work behind you, roll a double play, get you out of an inning.
Yeah, he's great, and we saw that. Like I said, only 1 earned run allowed, and he gave up 4 hits while walking 3. Like you said, he crowded the bases. He gets those balls in the ground, and he got out of it. Did pretty well. And then offensively, the team just really couldn't get it done. Against the Braves, we only had 5 hits, and the Braves had 10. In the Cape Cod baseball, you can only put up 5. You only score 2 runs. You're not going to get a lot of victories.
Yeah, for sure. Like we touched on earlier, the offense has been slow. And I think there's a few factors to that. Obviously we had Parker Brocious go down and miss our last game against Bourne. Casey Hintz, usually a primary pitcher, got his first start offensively. And, obviously it's going to be tough. First time hitting, probably at least a month for him. Hard for him to get going. But yeah, like you said, obviously you got to put more production up. Hopefully the off day gave some guys some rest, and we'll be back.
And I'm sure it will. We got off to such a hot start, even though we're 3rd in the West, still 1st in the league in run differential. These bats can get hot, and they can be phenomenal when they do so. We talked about it, 2 teams coming off a loss and an off day. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Chatham did on Monday, Mikey?
Yeah, so last Monday, or not last Monday, I guess this Monday, they played Harwich, and it was a pretty tight game. Ended up losing 4-2. They're another team that their bats have been pretty slow. They've got a good pitching staff, but your pitching staff can only do you so much if there's no offensive production. And Harwich is a good team. It was a good loss for them. But they had, like you said, 9 hits, so offense is still there. Just couldn't quite string it together. Kind of like we've had in our few games recently. But their leadoff guy, Austin Overn, I love him. Center fielder from USC, potential draft guy, kind of TBD on there for him, but he's been off to a great start. He's going to be probably pretty important for their offense today.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned Austin. We saw that they had 9 total hits, and he had 3 of those hits to start the season. He's batting .364 with a 1.097 OPS. That's a dangerous line for someone we're going to have to be pitching to tonight. So hopefully our pitching staff's aware of that, and we can watch out for that. But I think the most interesting stat you read from their game on Monday, Mikey, is that they had 9 hits and only 2 runs. Clearly, they're swinging the bat well. Clearly, they're getting guys on base. I don't know what their numbers are, but I'm sure their batting average with runners in scoring position was low in that affair on Monday. So it'll be very interesting to see when we play them today. Are those bats hot again? Are they going to rack up hits? And are they going to finish innings?
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of names on offense. Obviously Austin Overn, guys like Kyle Lodice, Mike Irish. You know, it's there for them. It's just a matter of can you get a few in succession? Because it's great, you know, like I mean 9 hits in one game is like when you look at it, 1 hit an inning. It's like you've got to be able to get multiple hits either in a row or create some traffic on the base path, which is something that we like to do. Maybe it's only one single, but then it's a single and then a walk, and maybe you get a stolen base out of it, and then sac fly can score. So I think it's being able to string those hits together and get the offense going that way. But I think it's also probably some manufacturing of runs would help them out, whether it be on the base paths, on stealing, or maybe trying to get creative with some small ball style of play that we like to do.
Yep.
So interested to see how they bounce back and how they game plan to try to get their offense going.
For sure. And as I'm sure you guys can see right now, weather report in Hyannis, windy.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Chatham tonight. It's a 7 p.m. start. Chatham's known for having some fog, so we're crossing our fingers that we're going straight through 9. No fog, no weather, no none of that. But not sure what the wind is going to look like in Chatham, Mikey. But I'm hoping wind's blowing out. Maybe we see some home runs tonight.
Yeah.
That's just me. I want to see some offense.
Tonight,
I think that'll get the boys going for sure in the dugout and on the field. That being said, though, let's talk about some guys who don't want to see home runs tonight. That's our starting pitchers. Mikey, talk to me about Luke Nichols.
Yeah, Luke Nichols, our guy from Louisiana Tech. Pretty solid year at school. 4.46 ERA, 82 Ks, only 29 walks, 70 innings. He's a guy that he's going to have really good command of his pitches. He's another one of those kind of like sinker ground ball profile guys who, doesn't mind letting the offense put the ball in play, letting his defense work behind him. I think he is going to be good for this Chatham lineup. They have a lot of guys who, from what I've seen, aren't really big lifting the ball. And if they are trying to lift the ball, it's going to be tough with that downward action pitch profile. So I think this will be a good matchup for us. I'm excited to see Luke on the hill again.
Yeah, Luke's a great pitcher. We saw he has one appearance so far this summer. It was a start back when we played at Dorn Park against the Braves. In that appearance, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 4 Ks, only 1 earned run allowed. And the reason he was able to go so deep, Mikey, is he went through the first 3 innings in only 24 pitches thrown, Crazy efficient, as our camera's shaking a little bit with this crazy wind today. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. And hopefully he can continue to work efficiently tonight and maybe get some more depth, help save our relievers' arms a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's really big. Obviously, the off day helps the bullpen, but anytime you can go out there and get 4 or 5 innings from your starting pitcher is really big in the Cape League. So many guys being on pitch count limits, and you got to game plan for next day, 2 days in advance. Make sure you have enough people to throw. So Luke is a guy who I think he'll be efficient out there and hopefully get through those first couple innings pretty quickly like he did last time and help our staff out.
For sure, we're gonna look for that. And on the other side, on the mound for Chatham, will be Griffin Herring. And guys, you're gonna want to buckle up when I tell you these stats because they are phenomenal. He's a 6'2" left-handed pitcher out of LSU. This season, 50 1/3 innings pitched, a 1.79 ERA, Mikey, 67 Ks, only 13 walks with a 1.033 WHIP as a sophomore. No stranger to success. Last year as a true freshman, he has a ring, won the College World Series with LSU. No starts. He's a bullpen guy, Mikey. Talk to me about Mr. Herring because I look at those stats and quite frankly, they're jarring.
No, yeah, I mean he deserves the praise you give him. He was one of LSU's top guys out of the bullpen this year. You saw him be the first guy out of the bullpen during the SEC tournament. One of their first guys out throughout the course of their postseason run in that tournament. And he is a guy. He's got good velo, fastballs, 91 and 93. He can ramp it up to 95. He's got a good slider. He's got a good changeup. Both of those pitches, low to mid 80s. It's a really good mix. And another thing that I like when I watch him pitch, I notice he's really quick to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So, which could be, something to watch out for our offense because, we've talked about we like to bunt, we like to steal bases, try to manufacture those runs with a lineup that doesn't have as much power as others do. A guy like Griffin Herring, who, he's like a 1-1 or a 1-2 to the plate, he gets down the mound really quickly. That makes it really hard to create traffic on the base paths and movement, just because, getting down the mound quicker gives your catcher a higher chance to throw those guys out.
Definitely. So we're going to watch out for him. So far, he's had one Cape start this summer and more of the same of his phenomenal numbers. He went 3 2/3 innings pitched with 3 Ks and no earned runs allowed. So this guy's hot. Pitched great at school. Pitched great in his first start on the Cape. So we'll see how he pitches at home in Veterans Field tonight. Hopefully not as great. We want to see a Harbor Hawks victory, but great guy who deserves praise, as you said. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll get a pitch matchup tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
With that being said, guys, you know what time it is in the program. I'll lead off, give Mikey some time to let it brew, let it think who his player of the game is. On my end, I'm going to go with more of a newcomer to the Hawks. That's Mason White, guy we've seen. He's an infielder. Replacement in the outfield when Parker Brocious went down against the Gatemen just a few nights ago. But he's a guy, Mikey, I talked about it on the broadcast a few days ago. He brings some pop to this lineup. Forget the number, but he had a decent amount of homers with 65 RBIs this past season for the Arizona Wildcats. He's a guy who has a great swing. He can send a few balls over the wall. For a team that's reeling a little bit, for a team that needs some excitement, needs some runs, he's a guy who on any given night can go out there and manufacture a few RBIs on offense while playing solid defense. So I think if we're going to turn it around, if we're going to figure it out and get back in the W column today, I see Mason White having a great impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of the biggest Mason White fans out there. Like you said, 19 bombs in school, a ton of juice there. And he's already in 3 games he's been here, a double and a triple already. So hopefully he can keep that going. I'd love to see that. For me, though, I think I'm going to pick Anthony Silva as my player of the game. He's put together a lot of really good at-bats lately. He's been hitting the ball really hard. And I think tonight is finally going to be the night where he gets a couple to fall and maybe that breakout kind of starts for him offensively. And, I mean, the defense from him is just fantastic. And pretty much every single day, wherever you put him on the infield, he's gonna do a great job. So
for sure, I love that pick. We see manager Mitch Carragher mix up his infield, but like you said, Anthony Silva, no problem for him wherever he is. He goes out and performs. Mikey, thank you so much for joining us. Fans, thank you so much for watching through the camera shaking all this wind. Hopefully, we see the Harbor Hawks get another victory today. That being said, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.